Welcome to 843 TV. I'm your host, Carrie Manning with Heritage Dental Spa and Salon.
And I'm Will Wareham with WHHI-TV. We're coming to you today from the River House on Spring Island. That brings us to our first guest, Mr. Jay Gratton, who is the golf course superintendent here on Spring Island.
And our second guest is Mr. Dan Dubrell. He is the GM and COO here on Spring Island.
And our final guest is John Strother, who is the broker in charge for Spring Island Realty. So stick around for more 843 TV.
Where communities come to speak.
.843 TV, where Bluffton comes to speak.
Where Spring Island comes to speak.
Where Hilton Head Island comes to speak.
Where Beaufort comes to speak.
.843 TV,
where communities come to speak. Welcome to 843 TV. We're now joined by Jay Gratton, who is the golf course superintendent here on Spring Island. Jay, thank you very much for joining us today.
I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. So we've had the opportunity to take a look at the golf course. It's the old Tabby Links, right?
That's correct.
That's certainly one of a kind golf course. And I understand you went through some pretty extensive updates that took place a couple of years ago. Can you take us through that?
Yeah, we did. It was back in 2012. The golf course had turned 20 years old, and there's a lot of things that started to deteriorate over time.
Sure. And
the irrigation system was kind of the biggest factor of us trying to do something. So then we decided if we're going to redo the irrigation system, we might as well tweak the golf course a little more. So we got the Palmer Course Design Company to come in.
Okay.
And they originally did the golf course, so we wanted them to come back and do the changes and stuff. So we did a lot of great things on the golf course. We redid all the greens, redid all the bunkers, changed a few tees around, and just kind of updated the golf course from what it was, and also with the irrigation system. So now we're kind of back up to, updated standards or modern standards of where we should be.
How long did that take?
It took about 7 months to complete.
Okay.
And from the time we shut it down by the time we opened back up. So it was a long summer.
Well, absolutely. And I mean, golf is an important part of residents' life down here in the Lowcountry, isn't it?
It is. It's a very important part, and I think that's one of the main reasons people come down here, obviously, for not just golf course on Spring Island, but it's a main concern for them.
Absolutely.
Jay, the nature component's a really important part of the community. It's also an important part of the golf course, I understand. And I understand there's a lot of native plants on the golf course. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, it is. We try to blend the golf course in with nature. So it's a walk in the park almost, a walk through nature with the golf course. When we did the redo in 2012, we took out over 20 acres of turf. And when we took out that 20 acres of turf, we changed all that turf into native plants, a lot of sandy areas, a lot of native different, just trying to get, just trying to help things kind of blend a little better than we did before. So it kind of made that, so with all these native plants and stuff, it just kind of makes it more looking, here on the coast, more beachy looking, more linksy looking and stuff. So that's what the biggest part of it was.
Cool.
Well, that to me is just one of the great things about the course is especially all the sandy waste areas. And you were telling me that you actually go around and collect seeds from native plants and propagate them and everything.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing that once the guys figured out they weren't weeds anymore, and that they were native plants, we go around and did collect a lot of seeds and plant them out and just try to see if we can grow them on our own, and we've been very successful.
Well, it just, y'all did a fantastic job. I mean, I had a golf course photographer here about a week ago, and he spent 3 days here. He said it's his favorite golf course, and he takes photographs of golf courses around the world. I mean, it's really, high praise for him. Yeah, he was very complimentary. And I think one thing that's really neat is the Audubon certification, Audubon Sanctuary. Is that
correct? It's Audubon Cooperative Sanctuary Program for golf. We've been certified since 1999, and it's a program basically that the Audubon helps golf courses protect the environment, and also helps preserve the natural heritage of the game of golf. And so it's an award-winning education and certification program. And they do a lot of things with us. And the great part about the Audubon and what we do here, we have our own kind of Audubon that kind of self-sanctions, I guess, at the Lowcountry Institute. And so I work day to day with them and in doing what we do. So trying to be certified for the Audubon was really pretty simple. because it's, a lot of guys try to go through it, but I think it's the fear of going through this Audubon process and so, oh my gosh, we got to try to do this, we got to make sure we're safe and doing everything. It's really pretty simple. What we do is just, it's our day-to-day life, and just trying to blend nature in what you're doing and making sure everything is up to the right standard, so we're protecting the environment, especially with our water quality, how we drain our water, how everything goes, so we're not affecting everything else. So that's how with the native grass and everything, trying to blend everything together, we try to blend nature with our Audubon too.
Wow, you've done a great job of it. Just fantastic.
And speaking of awards, the golf course is rated in one of the top 100 of the country, which is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, very, very.
That's a huge compliment.
Yes.
Explain to everybody how the courses are rated. How does that work?
Well, the biggest part about trying to get your golf course rated, you have to have people come here. You have to have raters come, and that's been the biggest problem. Trying to people coming out here and trying to find us, because we always say we're a hidden beauty back out here, a hidden gem. And once we did the radio, we started getting more and more raters to come out, and the more and more raters you have, the better chance you have to be obviously rated and
It's
have a
always
better
the
scale.
catch-22 when you have like the perfect little hideaway. You want to get the word out, but you want to protect it at the same time.
You want them to come, we don't want them to come. And so they came out and rate, and there's different different companies or different golf magazines that do rate these rate golf courses. Golf Week magazine had us rated in the top 100, and they have a criteria of about 10 different criteria. One is the routing of the golf course. One is the how the shaping was done, and there's a couple other ones of the variety of the par 3s and par 4s and par 5s, the natural beauty, the landscape, the ecology, and then one of the bigger ones is a walk in the park. And I think that's
it really is. I mean, I'm not a golfer. My husband's a huge golfer, but that's a golf course that if you're not a golfer, you could still just ride on the golf cart and totally enjoy the view from every ounce of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that say, well, these guys are playing slow up there, but they're just enjoying the day.
They're just relaxing. Why wouldn't they?
And there's a lot of people that do out there, and they have their fishing poles on the back, so they'll play a few holes and they'll stop and they'll fish.
Oh,
and
nice.
Some things. Yeah, so it's just really a fun thing. So that's kind of where they go. So the whole process of rating, people just got to come see it and look at it and stuff. And when they do, they kind of fall in love with it.
Well, I mean, what's not to fall in love with?
It's true. It's very true.
I was so excited when they said we're coming back out to Spring Island. I was like, I'll be there. Well, speaking of how tough it is, do you have a favorite hole?
Yeah, good question. I think that 17 is our traditional signature hole and stuff. So I'm gonna go with hole number 11, and I think hole number 11 has two sets of tees, so there's two different angles, and so you get two different views from whatever set of tees, from the right side or left side, and it's totally completely different. During the redo and the change, we really changed that one hole the most. I think that was the most drastic change and stuff. And there's a lot of bunkering, the shaping, everything, the shadows and stuff at night or early in the morning and stuff really sets that one off. So I think that's my favorite one.
All right, Jay. Well, thank you so much for being with us today.
thank you.
Make sure that you get information and come out and check out the golf course. And make sure you come right back for more 843 TV. Welcome back to 843 TV. We're here now with Mr. Dan Dubril. He's the GM and COO here at Spring Island. How are you?
I'm doing great.
So you're kind of new.
A little bit.
A little bit. So when did you begin at Spring Island, and share a little bit of your background?
Well, great. Well, thank you very much for having me here today, and welcome back to Spring Island. I've been here since mid-March, and it was actually a dream come true for me. I worked on Hilton Head for about 6 years, back from 2000 2006 as the general manager at Country Club of Hilton Head. And I've been in the club business my entire life. I grew up at a club in Northern Virginia. My mom was a membership director. My dad was president of the club. And I've been involved and around clubs my entire life, washing dishes when I was 13. I like to say I'm just a glorified bartender. But
You've worked your way up the ranks, obviously.
I kind of worked my way up the ranks. I love what I do. I have a real passion for what I do. And I think that's why I think I've been successful. But I spent a couple of years at Virginia Tech. I was going to go in the military. That didn't work out. That wasn't really for me. Too many rules. And so I finished up at Appalachian State on my own and put myself back through school. Got married, have 3 children, 25, 19, and 18. And I just love what I do. And when the opportunity to come to Spring Island came on, I just couldn't pass it up. Of all the beautiful communities down here in the Low Country, this is the only one that's ever stood out to me. And so I couldn't pass up the opportunity, and it worked out great.
Well, I can understand why you didn't want to pass it up. It'd be hard to.
In the 3 months you've been here, Dan, what struck you most about Spring Island, or what have you enjoyed most about?
You know, it's really learning something new every day. You know, this isn't your typical country club community. It's so unique and so diverse, and I can literally walk out the door and discover something. And it is literally not a treasure hunt because it's in front of you. You just have to recognize it.
Yeah.
And, but it's really remarkable, and the team here is just absolutely spectacular. There's so much tenure that goes back to, you know, the 80s and 90s, well before Spring Island was really Spring Island. And the tenure, just imagine the service staff is, you know, well over 100 years. And in the hospitality business, to say that, it says something about a community.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan, we all know that Spring Island has world-class amenities, and its natural beauty is unmatched out here. What do you think the biggest asset is out here?
Well, in any community, it has to be the staff, the team, the leadership team. The leadership team here is absolutely remarkable. One of the reasons I took this position was because of the team. I had an opportunity to sit down with them for an hour and a half and just talk about where they are and where they're going and what their passion was. And they appreciate the island. I drove around with Jay, and you know, one of the unique things about our community is we have these speed limit signs, you know, and it's 27 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour, and because it is what we are, and that was something that I recognized as I put it on cruise control and go 25 miles an hour. But you know, you think about Jay, who's been here 18 plus years. You think about Billy Sampson, the director of golf, who's been here over 20 years. You know, Doug Gaddy, our facilities manager, Tammy, you know, our director of wellness, Johnny Taylor, 28 years. I mean, it's.
Well, why would you want to leave?
Yeah.
It truly is one of the nicest communities, because people, I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that people assume that it's closed and kind of standoffish, and it's absolutely the opposite of that.
Absolutely. It's the community is so diverse and so unique, and the membership here is just remarkable. You know, you leave a club in the mountains where I came from, and it was a southern-based club, and you come to a club that's basically full of northerners.
Yeah.
and I love them both. My dad's from Connecticut, my mom's from North Carolina, so I'm kind of halfway in between. But it's just a really special place, and they really, really care about the island.
They really do, and you can tell.
Mm-hmm. So Dan, can you share with us some of the new ideas, management style, or new team members you may be trying to implement here during your time?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, my management style is very open and engaging. That's what I love about this business, is just being around people. The other aspect, sitting in my office and doing paperwork, is not what I enjoy at all. Especially when you have a venue like this. I have Mickey, my golden doodle, is here with me, and he and I walk out every afternoon. We come out here on the deck and we walk down by the water, and really enjoy it. From the staff standpoint, I haven't tried to introduce anything new yet. I'm still too new. Right. But there's one thing that helps develop a culture, and that's, you know, the appreciation and recognition of our employees. Mm-hmm. And we do an employee appreciation luncheon once a month. We bring in pizza. Last month we had Jersey Mike subs, and we had 70 to 80 of our staff in. And one thing that we try and do is recognize them for all their hard work. And I have each of my department heads take a moment to recognize a specific staff member and that have created a magic moment at the club.
Absolutely, so, building a little morale.
Absolutely, and it's an important part. It's just a collection of magic moments that creates a member's experience. So. I had brought on 2 new folks. There were 2 open positions when I got here. Ron Dietrich came in from the mountains with me. He's our new assistant food and beverage manager, or beverage manager. He's working for Patty Landon, and Deb Gerlach, who replaced a longtime employee, Kathy Willis, who had been here for 25, 26 years as my director of club operations. And I'd watched her career over the last 10 years really develop and blossom, and I've had an opportunity to bring her in and work with her.
Nice.
So,
well, speaking of magic moments, we learned that the Spring Island Club is a Distinguished Emerald Club recipient. Can you explain a little bit about this designation?
Absolutely. Another great reason to come to Spring Island is to be a part of a club that's been recognized for this. And the club has worked hard to achieve this recognition. And what's unique about it, it's not you know, the quality of the facilities. It's not the total number of golf holes or total profits. It's actually about the intangible aspects of the experience. And when I talk about magic moments and the member experience, that's what the recognition is for. It's for creating an incredible member experience, the quality of service, the quality of the governance of the community, and really the intangibles of every aspect of a community. And to be a part of that and be recognized for that is really remarkable. So.
Well, I always say this, I think this is the most amazing place because it's so private, but it's the best community at the same time. Everybody is so friendly, the staff, the residents. I just love this.
Very welcoming, for sure.
It really
Absolutely.
is. Yeah, it's very special.
Dan, great stuff.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. Stick around for one more segment of 843 TV. Welcome back to 843 TV. We're now joined by John Strother, broker in charge for Spring Island Realty. Thank you very much for joining us today, John.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I understand that you've got several cottages on the island and have recently branded them as the Cottage Collection on Spring Island.
Yeah, you know, one of the things is everybody says, well, Spring Island's different.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's different about Spring Island is the cottages that we have. And a lot of people had a hard time understanding exactly what that meant. So when this place first started, it was a quail hunting preserve, and we divvied it up into large lots, and we have these nature curtains surrounding each home site. So one person can't see what the other person has done, and from the road you can't see homes. So then a lot of people said, well, as a second home, I've always wanted just a little cottage, just a cute little adorable cottage.
Yeah.
And so Historical Concepts in Atlanta in particular started designing cottages for a lot of people and putting these little jewel boxes out there. And they're on marsh lots, golf lots, lake lots. I mean, they're everywhere here because people say, well, I want to start small, get used to it,
Right.
and that may work forever, or we'll always have room to build a larger house because we encourage people to break down the mass of their house. We don't like big square square houses. So so we have a lot of those. So what we've done is, and they're less money because they're smaller.
Right.
And so we've just branded it the Cottage Collection at Spring Island.
Very cool.
And well, it really is because we have them that I'll take architects around and show them different places, and generally they'll go to the little cottages and it's hard to pull them out.
Because you just want to grab a blanket and cozy up and sit there. They're the cutest little things.
That's it.
They're homely and they have an amazing view.
Yes, exactly.
I would stay there, obviously.
So we started doing that, and we've had 3 sales of cottages just in the past 6 weeks.
I think it's a little less intimidating too, you know, for someone, because coming in and doing a big, huge home, especially if they're not living here yet, and that's another kind of way for them to
put your toe in the water.
Yeah.
That's right, put your toe in the water. I love it.
Yeah.
So now, do you have any specific examples of cottages that are currently available for sale?
Yes. One, bird patch, 15 bird patch. I love this little house. It's an architect designed it, lives in it, the same architect, and it's when he built it, it was a LEED certified, a platinum certified home, which means that he used recycled materials, environmentally sensitive. The utility bill for this home is $1,000 for the entire year.
Whoa.
Wow.
I know, yeah, it's like, whoa. And he's a sailing enthusiast, so it's just 1,700 square feet, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, but it's like being in a sailboat. Every space is, oh yeah, he's got little bunks here with drawers underneath. It's just really neat. Reclaimed large old oak wood floors, beams that are reclaimed out of textile mills. And it's just an adorable cottage. There's plenty of room for a 3,000 square foot house and a garage with a place over it. So he lives there full time. It worked out great for him. Somebody can buy that, get used to the place, and maybe build a bigger home if their family is growing and they want to do that. So
Or be totally comfy in their little 1,700 square feet.
I know, I know. It's just fantastic. And then I have another one at 25
Little
Neck Crossing, yes. And Historical Concepts designed that. Once again, large reclaimed boards, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, nice modern kitchen, outdoor fire pit, grill, on a pond, walking distance to the stables, to Walker Landing here and all that. And that's a fantastic place. And that one's $499 and the other's $599. They're great prices and great introductions to Spring
It's a great
Island.
starter space.
Yeah, it is. Uh-huh.
So in addition to the Cottage Collection, some of the best deep water property really in the Low Country, honestly.
Yeah.
There's different living options and some home sites where the new owner can actually start from scratch for those who want to go ahead and jump in.
Right. We have really, you consider where Spring Island's located, and like right behind us, we have some docks here, community docks and some private docks back here. But we're a half hour to downtown Beaufort, so you can boat up to the downtown marina, get out, have lunch, go shopping, come back. You know, it's a great trip, Sunday or something like that. North end of Hilton Head's 30 minutes, and tarpon fishing in Broad River, cobia fishing, red fishing is all within minutes of here. And we have one of the best shrimp holes in the county right back behind us. So it's great for deep water when you have your boat out here. And I've got 1-bedroom cottage, cute little cottage right on the Colleton River with a private dock that's less than $700,000. And in particular over here at Trading Post Trail, which is walking distance to all this, an owner just recently bought another home. He decided he didn't want to build. And so we have a lot there with plans. It's ready to go when you close, ready to build for $599. He's really wants to, yeah, I know, it's just a great buy. It's a high lot. It's just.
And there's only so many deep water lots. Once they're gone, they're gone.
Well, you look around the low country here, and
there's not that many left.
I mean, you talk about trying to identify the perfect, you know, like your ideal deep water place. This is kind of where it is, I think.
It is, it really is.
Well, you're an island off of an island. For anybody who really just caught this and doesn't know where we're at, I mean, you have to go through Kalawasi, over the little bridge, to an island off of an island behind Cartagate. So if you want privacy, but you want full access to your own little community and obviously amazing views and water, this is definitely your place.
Yeah, that's really something, yeah.
All right, really quickly, John, one of our favorite questions, how are sales going on Spring Island?
Really good.
Good answer.
We've had a good spring. We've really been busy here the last several weeks. We just put a house for a little under $3 million under contract. It was listed a little under $3 million under contract. Had some lot sales, a lot of lot sales, people looking to build. And so 17 sales just over the past 5 months.
Wow,
things are just moving along. Yeah, it really is. So we're on track to have a good year here.
Great stuff. John, thanks as always for joining us today.
Well, thanks for coming.
And thank you for watching 843 TV.
Where communities come to speak.